Mamma mia, Italian motorcycles, where do I even begin? Many people love them, myself included, and many people love to hate them. Soft-brained spec sheet warriors will always say, you should have just gotten a Japanese bike, when a Euro boy picks up a nail in the tire. As if Japanese motorcycles are immune to literally every mechanical problem ever known, while so many genre-defying innovations in race-built motorcycles have come from wine-addled minds of Italian engineers, it has never been without the threat of questionable reliability. That is historically true, but just like playing acid reflux roulette when presented with a big plate of bolognese, there is usually little reward without risk. And it's 2023, baby, you can 3D print human organs. I think Italian motorcycle manufacturers have gotten their manufacturing a little bit more dialed in than in generations prior. And the Aprilia RS660 was one of the first attempts for a motorcycle manufacturer to make an exciting, unique, fully fared middleweight bike that is as useful on city streets as it is ripping up a racetrack. I've had quite a bit of time on the RS660. We had a giveaway bike a few years back and I had a great time with it. Since its release in 2020, this bike has been very solidified as one of the coolest and most versatile middleweight bikes on the market. So without further ado, you want an RS660? Let's talk about it. Like many motorcycle manufacturers, Aprilia began making bicycles following World War II before transitioning to making small displacement motorcycles. That seems to be the standard framework for anyone making motorcycles around this time. You either sold bikes to the US military and became a motorcycle national icon, Harley, or you were a company who made planes, guns, or bombs and were forced to diversify following post-war treatises. Or you made bicycles because the war destroyed your economy and infrastructure and bicycles were the only way people could afford to get around. But anyway, over the years, Aprilia expanded its product range and gained a reputation for innovative engineering and performance. Aprilia has always had a strong presence in motorcycle racing, which has influenced their brand ethos and product development. Aprilia has achieved numerous victories and world championships in various motorcycle racing disciplines, although they have had that 54 world championship sticker on their bikes for quite a few years now. This racing heritage is ingrained in the company's DNA and translates into their motorcycles' performance-oriented design and technology. The Aprilia RS-V4 is one of the brand's most iconic motorcycles. It's a high-performance superbike known for its exceptional handling, powerful and sonorous engine, and advanced electronics. The RS-V4 has won multiple World Superbike Championships and has gained a reputation for its track-focused performance. This flagship motorcycle is powered by a V4 engine making over 200 horsepower, and the RS-V4 has been noted as Aprilia's inspiration for the RS660, wanting to bring the flavor and technology of their race-winning motorcycle down to an approachable, versatile motorcycle packed with the same character and tech. For example, the 660cc engine in the RS actually mirrors many similar measurements to the front bank of the RS V4 race bike and makes exactly half the power. Coincidence? I don't think so. It's quite literally a lopped-off RS V4 with a little bit more stroke. The Aprilia RS660 was a highly anticipated motorcycle that has made waves in the motorcycling world since its release. Introduced in 2020, the RS660 represents a new chapter for Aprilia, combining cutting-edge tech, innovative design, exhilarating performance, and unmatched approachability. Approachable in stature, riding style, and price. The RS660 filled a void within the market that has since only been rivaled by the R7 since its inception. It's still a very unique motorcycle, and there's not really a whole lot out there quite like it. At the heart of the RS660 is its 660cc parallel twin engine. This compact and lightweight engine delivers an impressive 100 horsepower, providing a pretty ideal amount of power for riding both on-road and on-track. The engine's architecture with a 270-degree firing order gives it a distinctive and characterful exhaust note, further adding to the overall experience. This engine design has become very common in middleweight naked bikes like the MT-07, Hornet 750, and Gixxis 8S, but it is still fairly unique in a fully fared motorcycle, which typically does have high-revving inline 4-cylinder engines or sleepy 180-degree twins like the Ninja 650. Not only does this engine manage to squeeze a kind of absurd amount of power out of a 660cc twin, it also just sounds really good. It has the burbly grumble of a V-twin engine while still being able to be revved out to over 10,000 RPM. Listen, the RS660, it's a sweet bike. I know you want one, that's the title of the video. You know where you can buy one? Eurocycle. Eurocycle has been a longtime partner here at YamiNoob. They're the source of so many of the bespoke European bikes I get to ride and review here on the channel. We even purchased many of our own giveaway bikes from them. But you might say to yourself, I don't live in Nevada. Well, I don't either. They ship nationwide right to your door. All the giveaway bikes I bought from them show up in a truck ready for me to use. So you can get those fine European motorcycles without having to be spoken down to by the Ducati sales rep with the tiny coffee cup and the silly mustache. You can shop Eurocycle's huge inventory of motorcycles no matter where you live. They've got Aprilias, MV Agustas, Ducatis, Triumphs, you name it. They're our favorite dealership to work with, and I couldn't recommend them more if you're in the market for a European steed. Thanks to Eurocycle for always supporting what we do here. Make sure to click that link down below and check out their full inventory. So if you want an RS660, that's the best way to get one. Now let's get back to the video. One of the main goals for the RS660 was to be a sporty bike that was comfortable enough for city riding. Not only does the engine manage to strike this balance with a healthy 50 foot-pounds of torque to match the 100 crank horsepower, the ergonomics package is an equally balanced stature. When riding the RS660, you don't feel too committed or have too much pressure on your wrist, but there's still plenty of room to get down in the pocket if the situation calls for it. It sits somewhere between a sport touring bike and a fully committed 600 class race bike, which I think is amazing. The frame of the RS660 is both rigid and lightweight. It features a twin spar aluminum frame, which is quite the superbike stuff, making this bike super responsive and confidence-inspiring in the twisties. The RS660 is considered to be an intermediate bike, but it is packed with a seemingly never-ending supply of high-end components and tech. This bike has fully adjustable Hayabusa suspension in the front and a fully adjustable no-name monoshock in the rear. This degree of adjustability makes this bike really well suited for track duty, where you can really take advantage of the full customization. The RS660 also comes equipped with Brembo brakes all around, further adding to the premium feel of this bike. The RS660 makes use of the APRC tech package, which has been distilled down from the RSV4 race bike. The APRC stands for Aprilia Performance Ride Control, and this package includes just about every safety measure that has been ever used on a motorcycle, even if it's a little tough to use with the whole screen and the little toggle and stuff. It's kind of cryptic. I never really got along very well with the Aprilia's electronic package, I'll be completely honest. It has adjustable traction control, wheelie control, adjustable cornering ABS, switchable power modes, and even cruise control and an up and down quick shifter from the factory. Aprilia pulled out every stop to make the RS660 one of the most, if not the most, competitive and practical intermediate sport bikes on the market. All these tech components are controlled by a 6-axis IMU, and adjustments are made via a 5-inch TFT display. And while there are many concessions one has to make to justify the Aprilia RS660 in lieu of a Japanese middleweight bike, if there had to be one, it would be that the RS has the style and character unmatched by many other motorcycles. Italian motorcycles have a way of eliciting an emotional connection that Japanese bikes usually can't rival. The sound of an engine, the silhouette of the plastics, and the menacing scowl of the headlights. The Aprilia RS660 takes this to a whole other level with their extreme acid yellow paint scheme. That was the color we got for our giveaway. For riders with a more reserved style, it also comes with just this simple black and red paint. The whole package for the RS660 comes in at just $11,499, which makes it by far one of the most competitively priced motorcycles with a spec sheet with this much girth. Aprilia also recently released a higher-end edition of this motorcycle called the RS660 Extrema. This bike is equipped with an SC Project exhaust and some standard bits of carbon fiber bodywork that contribute to a curb weight 7 pounds lower than the standard version, coming in at 397 pounds compared to 404. I do want to say one thing though. The RS660, when it was first revealed, said it would have a curb weight closer to like 340 or 350 pounds, so it did balloon a little bit in weight in that time, but that's okay. However, as many esteemed economists have said before, there is no such thing as free carbon fiber, and that is the case with the Extrema as well, demanding an MSRP of $13,499. But what if the RS660's versatility just isn't quite versatile enough for you? Well, I'm not going to recommend a Versus 650, and you're in luck. Aprilia also sells the Tuono 660. The Aprilia RS660 and the Tuono 660 share a common platform, engine, and technology, but differ in terms of riding position, bodywork, ergonomics, and styling. The RS660 is a fully fared sport bike with a more aggressive riding position with clip-on handlebars designed for riders who want to be able to get in a more committed position for track riding or street squidding. The Tuono 660, on the other hand, is is a naked bike with a flat handlebar and a more relaxed riding posture, offering a balance of performance and everyday usability. As you guys know, we recently had a Tuono 660 here on the channel that defeated Gixxer Bra on the track, and I enjoyed very, very much. It's a great motorcycle. It's really, really good. The Tuono also had its gearing changed slightly for better around town power. Both motorcycles cater to different preferences and riding styles, allowing riders to choose the one that best suits their needs and desired riding experience. And if you're interested in off-road adventure riding, you're probably not watching this video, but on the off chance an ADV gatekeeper has snuck their way into the Yamanoob Squid Sanctuary, I will give a shout out to the Tuareg 660, which I had the chance to ride in Sardinia back in 2021. It uses that same 660 twin found in the RS660 and the Tuono, although it's retuned for increased torque at the expense of top-end power. The Tuareg has all the rally spec functionality with knobby tires, spoked wheels, and upswept exhaust, and I really like the Tuareg 660. I honestly really, really did. Great motorcycle. Now, a few years have passed since the RS660 was first released, so is there more of a general consensus on the reliability of this motorcycle? There's always the elephant in the room when talking about Italian motorcycles. No matter how much we accept that quality control and general manufacturing has greatly improved over time. And unfortunately, the Aprilia RS660 doesn't have a squeaky clean track record for reliability. Given this motorcycle has only had a few production years, it seems some of those issues are still being sorted out. Most owner complaints are in regard to oil leaks and oil consumption, and some riders have had outright engine failures. But this is always something to take with a grain of salt, as owners with bad experiences are always going to be a lot more vocal than those who just ride their bike with no issue. It seems that for most, these issues were fixed by the dealer under warranty. They replaced the engines, they got everything sorted out, it was all good. Even if the work is done for free, it is no fun having a bike going in and out of the dealership or waiting on parts to be shipped in. Plus, a fully fared motorcycle is never quite as easy to work on should you have the gumption to put a wrench on an Italian motorcycle yourself. So the Aprilia RS660 is practically unmatched in features, power, and price in the middleweight class, but there are some motorcycles that come quite close without the threat of the engine case dumping out all of its precious marinara sauce on your garage floor. The motorcycle that comes closest to mirroring the RS660 purpose is the Yamaha R7. The R7 is the only other fully fared middleweight sport bike that also uses a fun, punchy 270-degree parallel twin. The R7 doesn't quite have the advanced tech or suspension package, but for an around-town commuter or weekend canyon carver, the R7 really won't disappoint, especially when you consider the R7 will be a lot cheaper to own and has pretty much bulletproof reliability using an engine that has been in production for nearly 10 years. It might not be as bespoke or advanced as the RS660, but will be a highly considerable contender for someone wanting a bike in this style. We had an R7 back in 2021 as a giveaway bike, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was really good on track, it handled really well, but it did lack that je ne sais quoi and character that the RS660 had, and you could definitely tell it made a whole lot less power too. The Ninja 650 technically competes in this street-oriented sport bike category, but it doesn't really hold a candle to either bike in performance or character. There is, of course, a more traditional 600cc class sport bike for the diehard fast boy who wants to MotoGP cosplay on the street. The ZX6RR is usually held in slightly higher esteem to the Gixxer 600 or the CBR 600R, thanks to its extra torque that comes from the slightly larger engine, but all true 600s will be plagued with similar faults. You gotta wring the heck out of the engine to make any power, they're kind of gutless in the low end, and they're uncomfortable to ride on the daily or for longer rides. But the ZX6RR recently got an update, and it looks pretty cool, and the price is pretty damn good too. If you want the power band and riding style of the RS660, maybe consider a naked bike as well, where there are a lot more options. You could also look at Honda's CBR 650R. That's the fully fared, kind of sporty, kind of not bike. I personally think it doesn't really compete with the RS660, given that it is a lot heavier, but that's kind of a competitor too. Now, otherwise, if you're dead set on a fully fared sport bike with a more comfortable riding position and a torque-forward twin, you'll likely be limited to the RS660 or the R7. A bike like the Ducati Supersport 950 might operate in a similar vein, but it's significantly more expensive, much heavier, and it won't alleviate any Italian motorcycle anxieties that may have you shying away from the RS660. So, do you still want an RS660? It is impossible to deny that they are super cool bikes that have a ton to offer. They make just the right amount of power in all the right parts of the rev range, they're sporty with great handling, have an unbelievable tech package, but they're a motorcycle that will require a certain type of owner, someone that has the patience and understanding that an Italian bike will often require a little bit more maintenance and will be more expensive, and there is the potential for warranty work. But if you're eager to get on a first name basis with the service manager at your dealership and maybe have another another bike or two at home, the RS660 will work for your lifestyle. Each year this bike is made, it becomes a little bit better as the kinks get sorted out, so it's definitely a bike to keep on your radar in the years to come as well. I'd recommend getting like a 22 plus RS660. I bet you it's going to work out just fine for you. If you're a long-term owner of an RS660, let me know what your experience has been like. I'm sure other viewers of this video could utilize your experience as well. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of this one. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Big shout out again to Eurocycle for sponsoring today's video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Fact. In 1956, St. Vincent issued unauthorized postage stamps featuring characters from the Peanuts comic strip becoming rare collector's items due to a licensing error. Goodbye. Well, look at you. You've made it to the end of another Yammy Noob video. You should consider yourself pretty lucky because I have curated this one right over here for you to continue watching. It's probably just as good as the one you just saw. Unless you hated the one you just saw. I don't know, maybe leave me a comment down below about how much you hated it as well too. Or just keep watching this one. Make sure you keep watching Yammy Noob. Don't forget to keep watching Yammy Noob. That's the most important thing. Keep watching Yammy Noob.